Hello, and thank you for joining us today. My name is John DeVoe, and I'm the Director of Strategic Partnerships for the FBI National Academy Associates. For those participants who may not be familiar with the FBINAA, we are a nonprofit international organization of over 14,000 senior law enforcement executives. The FBINAA is dedicated to providing our communities, states, countries, and the law enforcement profession with the highest degree of expertise, training, education, and information. We are the strongest law enforcement leadership network in the world, and we're dedicated to strengthening the rule of law throughout the globe. Today's presentation is entitled ALPR in Action, Enhancing Crime Detection and Prevention. I'd like to thank our FBINAA Strategic Alliance partner, Utility, for their continued support, partnership, and commitment to law enforcement by sharing their expertise with our FBINAA members and constituents. And now, it's my pleasure to introduce to you our featured panelist for today's presentation, Andy Jessen, Product Manager for Utility. Andy, it's all yours.
All right, thank you, John. Hello, everyone. As John mentioned, my name is Andy Jessen, and I am a product manager at Utility, focusing on our license plate recognition and our in-car video solutions. Just like to mention, if you all have any questions during this presentation, please go ahead and put them into the questions section. And if there is time at the end, I'll do my best to go through and answer them. Today, we're going to be talking about license plate recognition, and specifically the utility license plate recognition system known as PULSAR. So what is PULSAR? PULSAR, as I mentioned, is Utility's solution for license plate recognition that is designed to enhance public safety by providing a head start to really any investigation that involves a vehicle. I'm sure you all have heard the stats, but data shows that roughly 70% of all crime involve a vehicle. And by utilizing a PULSAR solution, law enforcement is really able to kind of get that jump start on their investigations. PULSAR is capable of capturing vehicles in real time by taking a snapshot, and it's able to extract not only the license plate, but also the vehicle metadata with that car. The vehicle information is then matched against a national, state, local, or customized hot list, and those alerts are sent if a match is made. And really, PULSAR is used to provide in-depth investigating search capabilities, which we'll get into in just a few minutes. So how does PULSAR do it? First, we'd like to start with a snapshot of a vehicle. And for all those on the call, I just want to let you know I have manipulated the back of this license plate to kind of protect the privacy of the person who owns this vehicle. But we start with a vehicle snapshot. We then take that snapshot and we feed it into an AI engine specifically designed or trained to read vehicle information and extract not only the license plate, but we can also extract the state that that license plate was issued from. We can also tell what make and model this vehicle is. We can also get what type of color this vehicle is, and then also what type of vehicle. Is it a sedan? Is it a truck? We also are able to associate a date timestamp as far as when that snapshot was taken, and we're also able to grab the GPS location with each vehicle snapshot. As I mentioned, we then can take that vehicle information and we can pass it over to our hot list matching algorithm. And what that does is that takes the NCIC or national hot list. It can take the match against the state hot list, a local hot list, or any kind of custom hot list that is added into our system. And it's able to alert law enforcement if a potential match is made. And then we're able to take that snapshot, that vehicle metadata, and then also whether or not there is a potential alert, and we're able to feed that into Polaris, which is our CJIS compliant digital evidence management system. I know that seems like a lot that goes on with just a vehicle snapshot, but this process literally takes milliseconds. before that information is one, sent via an alert or pushed over to our Polaris platform. So what isn't PULSAR or LPR? It's very important to know what PULSAR isn't or doesn't do, because there's a lot of misconceptions around how LPR data is gathered and essentially what it's used for. So the first thing is, PULSAR does not do any facial recognition, nor is it used to do any predictive policing. The camera is literally trained to see the rear of a vehicle and take a snapshot, and then the AI engine kind of performs its magic after that. PULSAR does not gather or collect any personally identifiable or PII data. It's simply, again, analyzing the snapshot of a vehicle and extracting the license plate information and then also that vehicle metadata. And lastly, PULSAR doesn't share, manipulate, or resell any of the data that is generated through its system. The data is solely owned and managed by the agency. So let's take a look at how this data is being utilized today. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you all this dedicated tab for LPR within our Polaris platform, which again is our digital evidence management section. This page is split into essentially two views, where I have my map view and I have my transaction view on the bottom. The map view is going to show, from a GPS perspective, where the vehicle snapshots were taken. And then that transaction view is really going to show you the pertinent details that were extracted from that snapshot or that transaction. You have the ability to switch between your views, where you can look at a grid view or you can go back to your gallery view, really kind of based on your preference. If you select a transaction, you will see on the right-hand side of a page, this kind of detailed pane has opened up, and this is showing the license plate that was extracted from the image. I can select the image itself to kind of get the full resolution or the full image of that vehicle. Underneath that vehicle image, I have the ability to download this transaction. I have the ability to print or message this transaction. Maybe I have a colleague in my agency that may have mentioned a vehicle that they're looking for, so I could essentially message them through our platform. And then lastly, one of our biggest advantages is I have the ability through my Polaris platform to take a singular transaction and add this to an existing or a new case file. And what this does is this ensures that we are maintaining that chain of custody when it comes to all forms of digital evidence. This transaction doesn't have to leave one platform and go into another, which would essentially give the defense the ability to claim that there's a potential that the image or the transaction could have been manipulated. We also have very powerful filtering capabilities here. One thing we can do, and these filters are built in kind of a live real-time mode, where allows you to kind of quickly take a large data set and filter that down to really kind of perform some quick analysis on a large set of transactions. So here I can go through and I can simply say, hey, I want to just filter out all my vehicles that are black and that were an SUV. And on the previous screen, I started at around 3,500 vehicles by simply just applying a color and a type filter. I'm able to narrow that down real quickly to roughly 320. Now let's talk about kind of this unified search that we've built into our PULSAR tab. This is a very simple yet a very powerful dropdown that's going to let you search for any vehicle details. So your license plate, your make, model, your types, your colors, along with a date and time or location, or really kind of any other combination of that data based on the situation or the scenario that you're having to investigate or that you're currently looking into. So as a quick example, I'm going to do a search for all license plates that include the characters DA7. I'm going to go ahead and run that search, and what this is showing now is, over the last 6 hours, there are essentially 60 vehicles that that match with a license plate of DA7 and kind of any combination, whether it's in the beginning, the middle, or the end of that license plate. You know, that can still, you know, starting with 60 vehicles, that can still be somewhat time consuming if I'm having to, you know, do research on every single one of those vehicles if they're kind of matching the criteria that I'm looking for. But let's just happen to say I know the color, you know, I simply know the color of that vehicle. I can choose my filter option, I can select red, and then instantly what the system has done is it's reduced those 60 transactions down to 8, which is really a much more manageable number of vehicles to dive into and research more. Now let's kind of play out a scenario using our unified report or unified search box. Let's kind of say, you know, there's a report of a hit and run, and let's say that occurred on August 30th at 8:25 a.m. Using my unified search, I have the ability to enter in a custom date range with a time block during that date. So what I've done here is I've essentially started at 8:20 and I'm going to end the search at 8:35. So I've kind of put in a little buffer there. Next, I have the ability to choose my location. So this particular incident, I know kind of roughly the address where this incident has occurred. And I have the ability to choose not just that location, but I can kind of choose a search proximity. So for here, I've selected a 2-mile search proximity to that incident location. And now when I go ahead and search, it's now pulling back. One, on the map view, it's showing me that there are essentially 2 camera locations that fit my search criteria. And it's showing me that there are roughly 343 vehicles that have passed by a PULSAR camera within that 15-minute window. Now, again, 343 seems kind of like a large number to have to research, but let's just say, you know, a couple eyewitnesses have provided a color and maybe even a type of vehicle. Again, I can quickly go to my filter criteria. They told me that the vehicle was red, and then they told me that the type of vehicle appeared to be a pickup truck. I can simply enter those 2 into my filter, and now I am presented with a much more manageable data set where I've been able to reduce that 343 vehicles down to 8. So now I know kind of specifically, you know, what vehicles I need to go do some additional research on to see if there's some potential, you know, damage from, you know, from that incident. The last thing I want to show you is something that we are doing, which is kind of a geo-based search. So using my map view, I can zoom in or zoom out to kind of show the area that I want to search. And now what will happen is the system will only show the results that have been generated within that specific search area. But I have another kind of trick that kind of further enhances this ability to search. I can actually click a live button, and then what's going to happen is the system in real time is going to show me any vehicle that matches my search results based on the location that the snapshot was generated. So what will happen is, in a real-time fashion, any vehicle that passes by those cameras within that search area will show up on my screen. Maybe I'm looking for a specific vehicle that I've heard is traveling towards my community, or you know, maybe there's a certain vehicle I'm running a bolo on. I have the ability to enter that information and see that information, see their location, see where they're traveling in a near real-time fashion, with really not having to do any searching. I can set up my search criteria, and the system will essentially provide the results in real time. So now that we've kind of discussed how that PULSAR data is utilized from a lookup, an analysis, and an investigative standpoint, let's kind of spend a couple minutes talking about how utility securely manages that license plate data. First off, all PULSAR data is encrypted, whether that data is at rest or while it is in transit, meaning going from the cameras into the Polaris database. When a search is conducted, users are required to enter a reason as far as why they are searching. Our system is set up in such a way where users can't just search and search and search without providing any reason as to why they're searching. And then those search reasons are auditable by the agencies, where they can make sure they are maintaining tight control and there's no misuse of the LPR data. Also through Polaris, we utilize a role-based permissions for users. So agencies have the ability to specify which actual roles and which actual users can even access the PULSAR data and receive PULSAR alerts. Through Polaris, agencies have the ability to share their ALPR reads, which gives the agencies to kind of control which other in-state agencies have the ability to view and also search their PULSAR records to kind of broaden that investigative net. And then lastly, we can, utility doesn't have the ability to essentially access that data, right? The PULSAR data is 100% the agency's data. The agency has full control over their retention policy, where they can customize or set that retention policy based on their local or state statutes or based on their LPR policy. And that's kind of fully customizable through the Polaris platform. So now let's kind of talk about some of our PULSAR deployment options. When it comes to PULSAR, we have a couple different flavors. The first of this is going to be our fixed or stationary option. This option can be deployed in a solar or shore-powered, I guess solar or shore-powered manner, and those solutions communicate over a cellular network. We're able to mount these solutions on an existing or a utility provided pole. These could be a power pole, a DOT pole, or kind of an existing traffic pole. One thing that's nice about these fixed deployments is they really kind of can be deployed at strategic intersections or local hotspots throughout your jurisdiction that kind of create a net around your community that kind of allows for the capturing of all vehicles entering or exiting that that location or that community. And finally, all PULSAR fixed transactions, they are sent to Polaris within milliseconds of the vehicle passing by the camera. The next option we have is our PULSAR Mobile. PULSAR Mobile is a vehicle-mounted camera solution that's capable of capturing up to 4 lanes of traffic while that vehicle is in motion or while that vehicle is stationary. This system includes kind of 2 dedicated high-definition cameras, and similar to our fixed solution, is capable of communicating over a cellular network. When an alert is generated, meaning a vehicle passes by a camera and it's potentially matched to one of the various hot lists that are integrated into the system, that alert can be displayed through a dedicated tablet or through the MDT within the vehicle. And again, similar to PULSAR Fixed, all of our PULSAR Mobile transactions are sent to Polaris really within milliseconds of being captured. To round out that PULSAR offering, we have PULSAR Portable. This solution can be deployed as a standalone device, so it's pretty much can be used for covert or temporary deployments, or this solution can be integrated into a speed or traffic trailer. So if there's an existing trailer that the agency is utilizing, it's very simple to outfit that trailer with LPR capabilities for more of maybe kind of like a longer term of deployment. With the PULSAR Portable system having kind of that internal battery, again, it does allow for it to be deployed in kind of a quick covert fashion. Maybe there's an event or a particular hotspot or day of the week or time of the day when you're looking to get some information about the comings and goings. The portable solution can be kind of quickly deployed without any additional infrastructure. Both versions, the kind of quick deploy and then the trailer-based solution, also communicate over the cellular network. And similar to the other two offerings, all PULSAR Portable transactions are sent to Polaris literally within milliseconds of being captured. So when you have a PULSAR Fixed or PULSAR Mobile or PULSAR Portable, each of those solutions is really good on its own, but where you really kind of start getting your, the true value of this is when you start combining these PULSAR projects together and utilize them through our digital evidence management platform, which is Polaris. So from a PULSAR Fixed perspective, we can create this virtual net around your jurisdiction that allows for the capturing of all vehicles that kind of enter or exit. You can then pair that with a PULSAR Mobile solution. So as your patrol vehicles are performing their kind of daily routines or patrols, any vehicle that comes in contact with that camera is going to be captured along with the GPS information, which really can be invaluable from an investigative standpoint. And then pairing those two with a portable solution allows for a quick temporary deployment to any kind of local hotspots or events. You're not having to spend any money on additional infrastructure for kind of a temporary location that you're just looking to get some additional vehicle information on. And then lastly, by having all of these solutions integrated into our Polaris platform, you're able to access all of your digital evidence through a robust, user-friendly platform that is also being used for your body worn, your in-car video, your third-party video footage, and also through your interview rooms. So lastly, PULSAR is made to enhance public safety. One thing that we have tried to do with these solutions is we want to be flexible and we want them to be versatile. So we are able to kind of deploy three different options, really that fixed or stationary, the mobile solution, and then also a portable solution really allows for coverage of really every scenario that would face your agency or your jurisdiction from a license plate recognition standpoint. We're also able to enhance or make public safety a little more efficient by using artificial intelligence to recognize vehicles, capture that snapshot of the vehicle, and then analyze those vehicles so the officers can really focus on their other tasks. We're also able to take that information, providing vehicle and location information, so investigators, just knowing a location and a time of day can see if there are any suspected vehicles or potential vehicles that they're going to need to do some additional follow-up on. So again, it really kind of provides that head start on investigations. And then again, lastly, being able to integrate these transactions into our Polaris backend, you can rest assured that one, your data is secure, and two, any piece of digital evidence you need is going to be contained in in kind of that single platform. You're not going to have to bounce around to multiple systems or do exports out of a system to build that case file. Everything you need is there at your fingertips through a single platform. So that concludes the webinar for today. I want to take a couple minutes and see if there are any questions that have potentially come up that I may need to answer. It looks like there is one right now. It's saying, can you filter the live? Let's see, Michael Lesher. Let's see, can you filter live, or is it only filter old capture data? Michael, great question. So the live filter is 100% live, so it's going to be any new data that comes in. So think of kind of an example of you can hone in on that specific location, and then you can say, hey, I'm just looking for any red sedan, or maybe it's just a single type of vehicle, or maybe it's a particular license plate. You can put that information into your search criteria, and then once you hit that live button, the only information that's going to be displayed or shown on the screen is going to be vehicle information that matches your filter or search criteria. All right, next question is, does this system integrate with other LPR systems? That answer is yes. Today we are currently integrated with Flock Safety. We're able to show their alerts through our platform, and they're able to show their NCIC alerts through our platform. That question was from Patrick. Let's see, I have another question here from Brittany. Brittany's asking, how well do the cameras work in the dark? That's a great question. So all of these cameras, Brittany, have a built-in ambient light sensor, and then once those sensors detect that the ambient light is too low for a color image, our system is able to switch to IR, and it's able to provide a crystal clear view of not only the license plate but also the vehicle, kind of based on the available ambient light. But the cameras are automated in their ability to kind of toggle between a color and then an infrared mode based on the ambient light in the area. I got a question from Richard. He would like to get a little more information. So Richard, and I should have mentioned this at the end of the webinar. I think I kind of got ahead of myself, wanting to kind of answer these questions. But Richard, you can simply send an email to info@utility.com. Just fill in your contact information there, and either myself or another member of the sales team will be happy to reach out to you to kind of talk about these products in a little more detail and how we can implement them for you or your agency. I should have also mentioned, again, I feel like I got a little ahead of myself, but we certainly reach out at that email address. We have some promotions and discounts that are currently available for our PULSAR products. So I'd love to kind of have some more in-depth conversations with anyone on the line who would like to learn a little bit more about our solution. Let's see, just kind of going through some questions here. I got a question from Jason Henry asking, does the vehicle speed affect performance? So the short answer to that is going to be no, Jason. So there's a couple different ways that I'll answer this. So, and they're really going to kind of be deployment specific. So what I mean by that is, from a fixed perspective, we have a solution that is made for kind of residential and surface streets, and we're going to have a solution that's going to be more of a high-speed camera solution in the coming months. That's going to be able to kind of handle all let's call it types of roadways, depending on how fast vehicles are traveling. If we're talking more about the mobile solution, then the max speed that we're able to capture vehicles traveling is just under 100 miles an hour. So if our vehicle is stationary and a vehicle zips by under 100 miles an hour, we're able to capture an image of that vehicle. With these cameras being a high definition camera, we are able to grab a nice clear image of these vehicles while they were traveling at a kind of quick or rapid speed. And then I should say, kind of lastly, from a portable solution, the same holds true as with our fixed solution. Those portable solutions are able to capture vehicles on kind of residential or surface streets, and then in the coming months, we're going to have a more of a high-speed version that's going to be capable of capturing vehicles in excess of 100 miles an hour. I have another question here from Brittany. How many lanes of traffic do the fixed cameras cover? That's a great question, Brittany. So our fixed camera, so a single camera is capable of capturing 2 lanes of traffic where traffic is kind of flowing in that same direction. So, if we kind of have a 4-lane road with 2 lanes in each direction, you could put a single camera on each side of the road, and you're going to capture, both lanes of traffic moving in both directions. Brent asked a question about, can this be used with non-reflective plates? So, obviously from a daytime capture perspective, reflective or non-reflective don't really matter. I'd have to get kind of into the specifics with you as far as what type of material the plates are made from. A lot of times there is an overlay that is put on the plates today that do allow for some enhanced IR reading. But I'd need to probably take that discussion offline with you to kind of dive in a little bit more on the use case of the non-reflective plates. All right. Let's see. I got a question from Matt. Matt's asking, if we're viewing this on the MDC or MDT instead of a tablet, is this viewable in the normal in-car DVR tab? Is there another browser tab these be open? That's a great question, Matt. So what you'd be able to do from the MDT is you would have that same tab that's opened up for the in-car video. Within that section of the in-car video, there is a dedicated PULSAR or license plate recognition area that would show you the vehicles that patrol vehicle is currently capturing. And then if you do have that tab open, you would also be receiving alerts anytime there is a suspected or a potential match with a vehicle that is passed by that patrol vehicle. I guess kind of the last question I'm seeing in here is from Richard. Richard's saying there's some fairly resourceful thieves out there. Any way to track a fixed camera if it is stolen or taken off the pole? The short answer to that is yes. Yes, it is, Richard. So the camera have the ability, or I shouldn't say have the ability, but they're able to connect to GPS. So we know exactly when the camera is or is not in the location that it was initially deployed at. So we would certainly know if a camera was inadvertently taken off a pole by a bad actor. So short answer is yes. There is a way through the system to track where that camera is currently, where it was currently deployed, where it's currently reporting from. All right, I think I have made it through all of the questions. Again, everyone, thank you for the time today. If there's anything else that comes up, if anyone would like any additional information, would like to know a little bit more about some of the pricing promotions and discounts we have available for our PULSAR products, please feel free to send an email to info@utility.com, and we will be sure to reach out and set up some calls to dive into your specific needs a little bit deeper. Again, thank you all for the time. Really appreciate the questions and kind of allowing me to talk about our PULSAR solutions for the last 30 minutes. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.